Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Jingyu Wen, freelance concept artist based in Hainan, China. Now, I did find this artist via the Pinterest, and I believe it was this specific piece that I got hooked on, and then thankfully there was an ArtStation link. There's another artist here on YouTube named Alaria V something. And I think they have a similar sort of approach to their because they do focus a lot on female characters as well, and they do paint it to a very high level. And maybe another artist named Virgil Who comes to mind. And they do have this sort of direct painting approach, and you can just tell because you don't really see a lot of pencil work, like initial pencil work. They just sort of dive in for the most part. I mean, for Alaria V, they do have like a base drawing usually, but the point is they're very heavily painted eventually. I mean, just looking at their brush strokes, I think they have a bit of a jitter in their brush, so it does give it that rougher edge in their work. And just zooming in, you do see a little bit of color dynamics, and I think that does contribute to that. Aside from the rougher texture, the color dynamics, they add a bit of that oil vibe to your digital artwork, and I think it looks good, right? Look at how if you go further back, the strokes are a bit, they get vaguer over time. Well, not over time, sorry. They just get vaguer as you go further back. For example, you do see a lot more, like compare this to this to this. This one seems way more defined, right? Way more contrast, more blended out. But as you go further back, it gets more sketchy, more vague. And that's what's cool. Well, you learn this a lot when you have a painting approach, because you realize that some things, especially when they're sort of pushed back or when they're further away or when they're in shadow, you don't need to add much detail. Like you can be a very impressionistic with it, which I do like. I would classify this work as painterly impressionistic, which is something that I do like. Yeah, so let me just find another one here. There you go. Look at that. I'm very glad they're posting the bigger images here. Again, if you zoom in, you're gonna see the color dynamics turned on. And if you look at the edges, they do get a little fuzzy. I mean, far away it's hard to see, but when you do zoom in, and that's what happens when you have more of a painting approach, and they're not very tight with the edges. A good example of someone who has tight edges would have to be someone like maybe Ross Draws or ZED. If you look at their figures, their female figures, they do like to use the lasso tool, I guess, to sort of make sure the edges are very clean and cut. But everything with inside it does get very painterly. But for artists like Jingyu, they don't really pay much attention to the edges. They sort of leave it as is, right? And it does give it that more painterly look, where it sort of blends into different parts, right? For example, you have sharper edges like this one. Let me just draw it here. Look at how sharp it is. But in some parts, it's more blended out, like into the background. So maybe they're using some kind of smudge tool, if not a mixer brush in Photoshop. And maybe in the end, now that I'm zoomed in, maybe they have, or they do add a little bit of noise texture in the end, just to add something to unify everything. So, but yeah, I like it, and the folds look great, and it's very realistic, like the way the values are done. Yeah, I do like how you see a little bit of pink. I don't think it's coming from the hair. I think it's coming from within. That's my guess. Meaning it's a bit see-through. Oh, if you check out the painting strokes of Pluvium Grandis, they kind of have the same thing too. Now this one's a lot more smooth. Well, if you zoom out, it's kind of smooth, but you will see more of the textures when you zoom in. Now, obviously, what got my attention was reminds me of another artist named Sang Delan, Sang space LAN. And they're very into the feet. They do render it pretty well. And enough for Jingyu Wen. They're very consistent overall. Obviously, they pay a little more attention to the face, but that's common whenever you're doing like humanoid characters, because that's where you usually look at anyway. Oh, that is. There's something wrong with her lower lip. I'm not sure. The piercing is maybe she's some kind of creature or something. Who knows? But I love the gold stuff. The gold sort of ornamentation here reminds me of Wallop. He's really into adding these like gold chains and whatnot in their figures. Very seductive too. And I think they're using the same brush. It's like a flat brush, and again, the edge has that jitter effect. I think it helps with the rough edges. You know, it makes it look more painterly. Because if you don't have jitter, sometimes the brushes look a little too digital, so it kind of takes away from that. It makes it look less traditional. Oh, look at the part right here. You can still see the color dynamics. You have to zoom in though, again. But look at how subtle this is. It's a pretty sharp edge, but this value is very different from this value. And then it blends out in this area. Right? So when you have this sort of painterly approach, it's really just a sort of a back and forth between hard edges and soft edges. But for again, for Jingyu Wen, they have like a rough edge for the whole silhouette, but they don't mind letting that blend into the background. If you look at the hair, look at how this one is pretty much a silhouette, but here you have most of the contrast, because this one is it's kind of going further back and the details are not as important, but the more you go into the face, the more contrasting values there are. So even here for the scarf thing, lots of contrasting values. A little bit of maybe soft light color dodge here for that glow, and even the eyes. Her eyes are a bit snake-like, so maybe that's why she has this lip. Who knows? But yeah, I like it. Baby, I like it. Let me just find more stuff here. This one's cool. I'll find another one. Back shot over here. They really do spend time rendering the face, which is yeah, this one is giving Sangdelan. Just because of the pose, sometimes I see that in their work a lot. This one too. Let me just find more so we can just focus on. You know what? I think that's it. You could definitely see the growth in their artistic sort of approach. Obviously, I do like the more painterly stuff, like these two rows here. Even including the third row, maybe. Some grayscale sketches. We did see. Let me just zoom in here. We did see because I did mention Victor Titov in the last art review, and I think if you want to get good at painting in general, spending time doing grayscale stuff, grayscale paintings, because it takes away the other important thing, and that's color. But it's just more. It's more of an add-on. Like you can always color a grayscale painting eventually, or as a next step, or as like a next phase to your whole art process. But if you get good at painting in grayscale, it shows you that you have like lighting in check already, and that's the major thing. Values, like values are way more important than colors. Because without values, your colors are just, useless. Anyway, let's just zoom in here. Right? Painterly strokes. Look at the edges of these fingers. It starts to get a bit like wishy-washy. Like where does it begin? Where does it end? But when you zoom out, the difference of the finger values and the difference of the value of the background is so far away that you can sort of fill in the gaps yourself, or the viewer can fill in the gaps themselves and go, oh, like these are the fingers and these are not the fingers, you know. So for as long as you have like very different contrasting elements, or they're very far apart in terms of like values, you can get away with having a somewhat blurry or mixed edge, right? But it can't be everything. There has to be some parts where definitely you have to have a harder edge. Look at this thing over here, right? That hard edge, and just in this spot, and it gets soft over here, right? It's these little things that, you know, they matter. I love the lighting here, the underlighting. It looks so realistic. Yeah, I like it. And even in the skin, do you see how it gets up in it gets a bit pinkier? The skin is clearly showing through the fabric. That's a good detail right there. Right? Pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. And look at how there's different colors here. There's like a reddish purple, there's like a bluish green, there's like a yellow. And you will see this a lot with skin. It's not just one color. Although you have to be a little more subtle with it. You can't be like super freaking. It can't be too obvious, basically. But usually the skin has like a wide range of hues in it. This one, again, it reminds me of Sangdelon. A lot more smoother. Look at how this edge is being blended out into the background. It also adds, obviously, to that painterly approach, or that sort of impressionistic painterly vibe. I like it. We have like a Reddit here, a back shot, clearly. Reminds me of Danila Kalinin. They're into drawing or painting, although they're way more like sketchy or impressionistic. They like painting like night chicks or night women or women knights. Basically women with swords and armor. And yeah, they're using again the same brush here. It has color dynamics on. If you look at the background, and that edge, that jittered edge, again, it contributes to that. Oh, I think their brush also has like a canvas texture added to it. So it gives even more of that texture. That kind of oil painting texture. Right? Look at how the edges aren't too tight. There's a sort of a looseness to it, which does add or give it that painterly effect. So, yes, be mindful of your edges, but don't be so attached to it. Just, you know, make sure they're different enough from the next adjacent thing in terms of value, and you'll be fine. Very cool hat concept. It reminds me of the, you know, Harry Potter, the talking hat. Very flesh-like insides of the hat, and all of these like slimy things. Oh. Okay. But yeah, still very painterly. Clearly leaning on the realistic side, even though you see more of the brushstrokes here. If you zoom out, it just looks so like, you know, it's a painting, but it's heavily realistic. I think it's because of the lighting and they're able to capture like the subtleness or the subtle hues of the skin. I think that's the major thing. Well, not just the skin, for example. Well, this part of like the fleshy part of this hat, the insides. Look at how it's not just red. You have like yellows, some purples, right? You will see this in real life. So I guess that contributes a lot to that realistic sort of vibe. So both of them have yellow eyes. Very interesting. So maybe you don't actually get to see her face for the most part. Like her whole body or upper half is covered in this hat thing. But inside, that's who she actually is. Very cool concept. And the two eyes in the hat, very interesting. And even in the shadow part, it's not just like one value. Look at how it gets darker here and it becomes lighter as you go further down. And even within that, you see a little bit of hue changes here and there. Yeah. Reminds me of another like big name. Like he's just as popular as Ruan Jia. It's Huang Gaijian something. But yeah, they're able to capture these sorts of hues in their work. And look at how you see some purple stuff, some purple greens. They look like veins, or are they veins or capillaries? It really depends on the kind of skin you have. For me, it does show up in some parts. Basically, it's like green, sometimes blue. I'm not sure if they're nerves or veins, but you have to zoom in to be able to see it. And again, that's another thing that makes their work very realistic. Even if you can still see the brushstrokes, even if it's painterly, it's the yeah. I like how this one, like the top here, it literally looks like silk, right? Like how can you like you have to be good at this, obviously, but how can you illustrate a material or different kinds of materials with the same brush? So you have to be very good with first of all observing images and seeing things as they are, so you know how to replicate it. But also you need to have good brush technique. So obviously for silk stuff, there's going to be a stronger like softness to it or gradient. Similar, it's not all the way to matte, but it's sort of in between matte and glossy. This sort of silk thing. If you look at the knuckles here, look at how there's a bit of green, red. It does get a little more red in the knuckles. And in some parts, you get some greens there. And again, it adds. Same thing here. Look at how it gets redder here. But on the left-hand side, you do see a lot more greens. So it's the little things. It's hard to see it zoomed out, but it contributes. I guess pastel colors are important. Just looking at the colors here, like look at how there's some light blues or purples, some light greens, light reds, light pinks, and they're all in this sort of pastel range. And I do see these colors a lot in skin, so maybe that's something you could notice or apply to your work as well. And look at how they just paint over their edges, right? If something doesn't work, they'll just erase it or paint over it. So it has a very like direct painting approach. Oh, look at them toes. Some greens in the areas in light, and then some reds. Maybe yeah, in the tips of the toes and just fingers in general. They tend to be more red. So I like how you were able, or this artist, or Jingyu was able to show this in their work. I love the blue sort of a color. Okay, I'm getting too focused on the feet. But yeah. So I do recommend their work if you're into like more impressionistic, painterly stuff. I do recommend you check out the work of Jingyu Wen, right? And you know, you have to zoom in to be able to really see like how it's done. Far away, it's just harder to notice things. But zoomed in, I think that's where you will see the secrets of their process, right? I love the gold again ornaments here, and her earring is sort of burning. There's sort of a magical element here, and I like how it's fairly consistent. You know, oh, reminds me a little bit of a Yankee or Kiyang. He did work for the Wukong game, the Black Myth Wukong. He does have a similar painterly style. Sometimes he'll use like a round brush. Sometimes he'll use a more painterly brush. Like, basically, it looks kind of like this, where it's a lot more oily or a lot more natural looking. So that's it for this art review of Jingyu Wen. And yeah, I will link this page in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.